Larry, let's go back in your school experience and ask you this question. Do you believe that athletics, now you participated in it as an individual, do you believe that athletics opened the doors to a college degree for you?
Yes, it definitely did for me, Tom. It would have been impossible for me, being from a large family, to have gone to college had it not been for athletics. Mm-hmm. That is true.
Mm-hmm. Now, we've heard it said that some schools take advantage of the black athlete, and black athletes, some of them feel that way, that when they go on to school, even though they're getting a free ride for basketball or football, they're taken advantage of. Do you believe this is true any more than with a white athlete?
I can't say that it's any more true than it is for the white athletes, Tom. And I'm sure all schools don't practice this, exploiting blacks or whites in athletics. But I'm sure that some exploitation does come about for both blacks and whites.
One no more than the other?
I think not.
Yes. Now, of course, when you were having state championship teams as coach at Crispus Attucks High School and dealing with the black athlete all the time, I know that you probably opened the doors to recruiters coming in because you wanted to see your athletes get a college education, didn't you?
Right, that is true. We were very happy to make contacts with the universities and colleges over the country who are interested in our athletes coming to their schools. And I can say in all honesty that during those years and the recruiting that was going on, I don't think was any intention of exploiting any of those boys in any way. And I can say most of those boys graduated from college, got their degrees, and are out in their respective communities now as contributing, worthwhile citizens.
And certainly better citizens because of their experience in athletics.
Right. I'm definitely one that is sold on athletics and what it can do for youngsters.
Well, let's talk about athletics and what you learned as you participated and coached, and with what you're doing today in business and also in the state legislature. What are the things you learned as a young man and as a coach that stand you in good stead in business and in the House of Representatives?
Right. Actually, Tom, both I think is a selling job, especially in business and in the House here. But I believe there's much to be gained in athletics by youngsters who participate that can be carried over into later life, especially learning how to cooperate and work together, which is very important in athletics and also carries over in later life. We have to know how to work and get along with people.
Teamwork.
Teamwork, right. And I think that's one of the important lessons learned in athletics. And there are others, such as a good mental attitude. I think that's very important in athletics and in anything we do. And I think that's learned very definitely in athletics, having a good mental attitude toward the people that you're working with and toward the sports, if it's in basketball or your business or what have you.
Now, you retired as coach and athletic director at Crispus Attucks High School at a very young age. That gray hair, Ray, doesn't mean a thing in your instance, and you are in the business world now. And could you tell us what you're doing and what company you're with?
That is true, Tom. I've been in the business world now for the past 2 years, and I am vice president of Summit Laboratories, which is a hair cosmetic firm, and I am in charge of purchasing and inventory control. Mm-hmm. Very interesting job. I like it very much, and it's more or less a carryover the area that I'm working in from what I was doing in the school system, working as athletic director, mm-hmm. purchasing and overseeing the inventory and so forth.
I'm not going to ask you who's going to win the state basketball tournament this year, because when you were a coach, you never told me the truth, even when Attucks won a couple of times.
Well, I'm not going to commit myself too much here, Tom, but I'll just say that I think the state champ's coming out of Indianapolis this year.
You got it started. you were the first, and then Washington picks up one. It's
Right.
easier once you get the first one.
That
isn't
is true. And as everyone knows all over the state, that our caliber of basketball here in Indianapolis and Marion County is much better than it used to be, and on the par with any of the others around over the state.
While we're talking about sports, and this is something that happened at track and field at Mexico City, covering the Olympic Games, and there's been a lot of reaction to it, and I haven't asked this question before, but, you know, Carlos and Smith, two black athletes, in my opinion at least, showed disrespect for the flag of the United States. What was your opinion about that?
Tom, my personal opinion about that was that that did show disrespect for the flag of the United States. And although I have to admire those young men if they have a cause that they feel so strongly about and they want to fight for, but I just thought that was not the place nor the time to carry on this fight.
You believe then that in fighting for just causes?
Yes, I very definitely do.
And I imagine this comes up quite often in the state legislature.
Yes, it does, and everyone has a just cause that they're fighting for, and of course it's always hard to see the other fellow's side, but we have to be reasonable, broad-minded, open-minded, and try to see the other fellow's side also.
Ray, that's a very good philosophy, and I know that many of your former athletes have that same philosophy, and I hope that by expressing it on Channel 6, on our Courage to Conquer series, that you and your life will be an inspiration to others just as it has been to me.
Well, I hope so, Tom. I try to always be an inspiration, especially to youngsters. I always enjoyed teaching and working with youngsters, and hope I have contributed something that's going to be worthwhile to them.
You know, just one more little question, Ray. I know that some of the older folks think that, you know, the younger ones are causing trouble all the time, but I sort of think it's like, well, you know, you never hear about the happy marriages. It's always the unhappy marriages, right? And I think that applies to our younger people, don't you?
That is right, Tom. We read in the papers and hear about the bad that is done by the younger people, and every time there's one bad one, there's thousands and thousands of good ones out there that are doing good things, and we should give them more pats on the back and hear more about the good things that are being done.